Hello and welcome to the Naren Agarwal show. Today's episode is going to be a straight fire episode. If you're into entrepreneurship, if you're into business and you want to learn about one of the leading business coaches in India, the man who brought business coaching to India and founded Business Coaching India, let me tell you about him. Our guest today is Mr. Rahul Jain. He's a pioneer who got the concept of business coaching to India about 17 years ago. He's a professional engineering and MBA with over 26 years of hands-on experience with blue chip companies such as Tata Motors and has had a serial entrepreneurial journey. Over the last 17 years, he has coached more than 17, 18,000 business owners hand to hand, and more than 40,000 have attended his workshops. And he guarantees two main results. One is run your business operations one day a week, and two, double your profits every year. And yes, the businesses that he coaches are from all varieties of industries: manufacturing, IT, distribution, retail, hospitality, architecture, schools, hospitals, you name it. He's been my coach, and I welcome Mr. Rahul Jain to the show. Rahul, sir, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Naren. Thank you so much.
Rahul, sir, it's a pleasure to have you. And this is one of the first podcasts that you're ever doing. So I'm so privileged and honored that I have you as the first podcast you're ever doing. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a privilege to be here. I am not very, what do you say? I'm usually not too much on the digital space and all around. But yes, great. Really nice.
Sir, to start off the podcast, I want to ask you this question. What is business? What is business? Before we get into your journey in business coaching, what is business according to you?
So business is a science, and people think and they confuse it with a skill set. So business is largely a science. There is a methodology to the madness. There is a way to do business. Uh, because we do not understand that way, we go haywire. We do not really get that. One. Second, business is an expression of the person, is the way I would like to look at it. It is the expression of what you are, of what you want to do, of what you want to contribute to the world, on how you want your products or your services to help transform the lives of people in whatever way you deem fit. So every product, every service, Apple transforms people's lives. It makes it more convenient. It gives them something. Google's makes life much better for people. So on and so forth. Every product, Nike, whether you're wearing a Nike shoes, it is helping you in your health. So it transforms people's lives. But unfortunately, businesses looked at largely by looking at a business as like a money making machine.
Exactly.
And probably that's where we mess up a bit. Tell me.
Wow, wow. That's so true, sir. Because when I was growing up, I saw all these businesses as just money making machine. And when I first got the perspective that, wow, business is a way to add value to society through, the processes and the organization that you set up, that really changed my view and outlook of businesses. And I think really businesses are the ones who are transforming so many lives and organizations in today's world. So great to hear that perspective. So business is good, and there are people doing business, but why business coaching, and is it needed? If you're into entrepreneurship, they say you learn on the job and you hustle hard and you learn the tough way, and we hear all these stories. But then why do we need a business coach? It sounds like a weird concept in general, right? Business coach.
Yes, so that's a story that I had been living in this country for the last 17 years. So I started business coaching when in 2004, when there was nothing called business coaching, there was nothing called coaching that existed in this country. There were no coaches for the first 10, 12, 13 years of my life, and I was perhaps one of the only ones roaming around. And
Wow.
then I used to say that I will coach you. I used to go to business owners and I used to tell them, I will help you, run your business. I will tell you how to do business. And he used to come back and he used to look at me and he used to say, I've been doing this business for 30 years.
Yeah.
My dad did this for about 50 years. Now you are going to come and tell me how to run my business. And you think you know how to run this business better than me. And you with this ponytail, you think you're going to help me with this business? Like, wow, really? So coaching, let me try and put this in words. I've spent my lifetime into this, so it becomes, it blurs. The demarcation blurs. So for every area of life, you need to learn how to do that, right? We send our children to schools, to we send our children to management institutes. Why do we send them there? So that they can learn what we think, so that they can learn how to handle a business. Unfortunately, that education is not available anywhere in any educational institute. हम कहते हैं पहले तो you go learn, study, and then you can come and run the business. Doesn't work like this. Coaching is required. Why is coaching required? Where in any area of life, let's say for example, in any area of life that a business owner has, if he gets stuck in accounts, in compliances, in cash flow management, he goes to a chartered accountant, a specialist. In suppose he's not feeling well, what do? Do you Google it up, or do you learn by experience? No, you don't Google it up. You don't learn by experience. You go to a doctor. Why do you go to a doctor? You want to build a house. What do? Do you go? You say, okay, fine, I'll build it myself. No, you don't do it. Unfortunately, the most important part of your life, which you're going to be running for this is perhaps more important than your children for most business owners, and they want to learn by themselves, saying, okay, fine, we'll pick it up on the way, and trial and error, and learn by experience, which is one of the saddest way of learning, because that is the most expensive way, and it takes the maximum amount of time. So people need to learn how to run their businesses, and everybody is struggling in business. And it's not only business, health, business, anything that you do. If it's a skill set business, you need to run a business. You need to understand the science of business, and you need somebody to help you to do that.
Wow. So, sir, how did you discover business coaching? And like back in the day, I can imagine people being so much more resistant to coaching, especially business coaching. So, how did you discover it, and what motivated you to bring it to India?
That was a chance. I had taken a sabbatical after my last business. I'm basically a business owner in my entire life. I've just run businesses all my life. I'm not a consultant. I've never been a consultant. I've never trained into a consultancy. I've never worked in a consultancy. I've never done any of those. So I was running my business, and one day we were into distribution. One day the people that we were importing from, those people shut down, and we were very successfully running it. But at that point in time, I was already financially independent, and I was not understanding why am I doing what I'm doing only to earn money, because it was no longer fun for me. The joy was no longer there in the business. It was only a means to earn money for me, and I was not being able to understand why am I going to office every day just to make money. And then when that business shut down on the people that were importing, because we had 10,000 distributors all across India. So if, we could have started 10 more products, but I chose to shut the business down. And I said, now I'm never going to work in my life. Now I'm going to go out and do something that I love. The only challenge I had was I had no idea what I love doing. And I went on a sabbatical, and I said, now I'm never going to work. I'm only going to do what I love.
That's
So let
powerful.
me find out what I love doing. While I was on this journey, I discovered many projects, but nothing worked for me, because the question I had put to myself was, what can I do free of life for the rest of my life? If I'm ready, am I ready to do something free of life, for free of cost, for the rest of my life? And nothing appealed so much to me. And I was sitting in a workshop one day, and this gentleman had come down from Australia, and he was a business coach in Australia, and he was speaking. Just hearing him speak that day completely altered my life, completely transformed my life. I said, this is what I was born to do. This is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. This is the purpose of my life. And the next day morning, without having any understanding of what business coaching means, I started business coaching India. And then, of course, there was a huge period of struggle, so on and so forth. But this is how I started.
Sir, I think the biggest thing with most people, why they don't get answers, is because they don't stay with the question for too long. You took a sabbatical. You stayed with the question, what is it that I want to do? What is it that I want to do? People want quick fixes. But the fact that you went through probably that internal struggle of what is it that I want to do for the rest of my life for free of cost, what would that be? And because you stayed with that question, you stayed with that pain, eventually the answer came to you somehow magically. But the fact that you had the patience is what's awesome to hear. So many times we can get impatient in life, but this is awesome to hear. And then you started business coaching just the next day.
Yeah. Just the next. I said, this is what I'm going to do now for the rest of my life. And
Wow.
I mean, there was no question about it. I mean, there was no question. There was only clarity. I said, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. Whether I make money or not is immaterial. So there was no context there for money. It was like, for me, it was like pottery. It was like painting. It was like music. It was like traveling. Today also, when I do business coaching, I don't need to do it any longer. I can retire tomorrow morning. The only thing holding me back into this is the joy, the love, the fun. I just love it. I mean, I would rather sit down and create something new and do some business coaching than watching a movie. I mean, which I love.
That's amazing, sir. I'm so happy that you found something like that, and you've also helped so many people because you found that. And I'm sure I have a fun question for you afterwards. But talking about your story, I want to learn a little bit about you, sir. Where were you born? Where did you grow up? And growing up, did you always know you wanted to be an entrepreneur? You wanted to be a business into business? Did you have such moments? Or growing up, what was life like for you?
So my father was in the army, and my entire family, they are either bureaucrats or all in the government servants, all government servants.
Wow.
So I was born in Delhi, and then since my dad was in the army, we used to travel every 3 years. We used to shift, you know. So I've stayed in Mumbai, Port Blair, and Andamans, Nagaland, Chandigarh, everywhere, all across the country. We've just traveled and traveled and traveled, and education from all across. Just so we were just roaming around all across. But the question that you asked, from the very beginning, I perhaps at the back of my mind was pretty clear that I don't want to do something like a job. I want to create something in life. I was like, I want to create something in life. I was not an exceptional student. In fact, I was really bad. And the 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 good part or the bad part, I don't know what. I come from a family of top achievers. Everybody in my family, every single person in my family is not somebody who gets great, is not great in academics, but the best. Not great, but the best. So
Wow.
my sister was a topper, my father was a topper, my uncles were toppers, all my sisters were my toppers. Everybody in the family was a topper, and I was I used to struggle with 50% marks. So I remember my so I used to get rogered at home, like really, like this guy is useless, nothing can happen, and he's going to be a failure, because in my family the only criteria for success was good marks, getting into a good job, a good government job, or a good any kind of a job, and that will come out of good education. And period. Education was the only thing.
Yeah.
Everything stopped at education. There was nothing beyond education in my whole family. And I remember, I mean, I used to, like I said, I mean, my marks used to come, and I used to run into some small little corner and just hide there, and the whole family is discussing, mother, what do we do with this child now? I mean, my grandmother used to say, "Okay, leave him alone. We'll get him a petrol pump somewhere. We'll all put in money and we'll open some petrol pump for him somewhere. So leave him alone. Don't trouble him."
That's funny, sir. And I know how it can be in Indian households with like, the child's marks, everybody's involved, and like the traditional parents, if you're not doing well, this is the only way to success in life. I can totally imagine that and how it would be, especially when you were growing up.
Oh
So,
yes.
growing up, did you have any hobbies, and do you still continue to do anything like that, like sports or anything else?
No, not really. I was not too much into too much into hobbies, etc. Just hanging out with friends, movies, normal every day.
Like,
Nothing extraordinary about me.
that's
Not
pretty awesome to hear. Maybe that gives you also the power to sit down and be with yourself and like, go into deep work and create all these, sciences and, the business coaching modules that you do.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. I mean, single-minded focus, like focus, like real. If I get into something, then I get into it, or I don't get into it. So I get bored also very fast, and if I get into it, then I get into it. But if it doesn't appeal to me, then, like, I walk out of it. Like, there are, before business coaching, there were two businesses I walked out of just because I got bored out of them. I mean, purely because of boredom. I start a business. So my cycle has been start a business, take it to the best, and then you get bored of it and leave it. So for a very long time, people in my family used to keep asking me that, okay, now business coaching is taking off and you're earning well and so on and so forth. I hope you won't get bored and walk out of this. No, this is not what I'm going to work out of.
This is something that really struck a chord. Sir, asking about your ponytail, you mentioned your ponytail. Tell us about your ponytail. Why do you have it? Is it something that you enjoy, or is there some promise that you took? What is the story behind your ponytail? I'm sure a lot of people have that in their mind.
Nothing. I just like long hair. I tie up when I tie it up when I'm with formally. Otherwise, I would like to leave it open. Just nothing. I mean, I've always seen these old serials and all the kings with their hair open. So probably I picked it up from there that I need to have long hair. And
So,
then perhaps I read somewhere that when you have long hair, you're more perceptive. Whatever. So that was an excuse. That was the logical explanation for this.
that's amazing, sir. That was a fun question I wanted to ask. So getting into now after your story, a little bit about the world around you. So I've noticed that people who've taken your business coaching and alumni from Business Coaching India, they almost like have a cult like following for you. A lot of them, they're like, Rahul Jain, Rahul sir says this and do this and do this. And that's of course because they've gotten so many results. I mean, I have taken coaching from you and we've got extraordinary results in our business and in our life. So why do you think you have a cult like following and how do you feel about it?
It gets a little intrusive most of the times because now wherever I go, I bump into somebody, and I want to just be with myself and with the family, and you bump into people, and sir, I did your workshop. Sir, I did your workshop. I said, okay, fine, great. I'm shopping. I'm having a move. I'm having dinner, and I'm seeing a movie, whatever. Uh, so it feels nice because so let me share with you. Okay, let me give you a slight background. The purpose that I do this is the joy that I get from transforming people's lives and seeing their lives transform. And when their lives get transformed, that is my payoff. So there are two types of payoff people have. One, they think the whatever they are doing, the payoff is in the money. So yes, money is important. Yes, there is a certain payment that you get in money, but money can't be the payoff. If money is the payment that you get or the payoff that you get for what you're doing, you'll not be able to sustain it beyond a certain point in time. It will stagnate. It has to be more. So seeing people's life change and impacted because of something that I did is my focal driving factor. Magar, if you're talking about, so you were saying, how does it feel?
To have a cult like following, all these people being like Rahul sir, or like, uh,
I would rather, I rather withdraw. I say, okay, fine, great, okay, fine, it's fine, it's fine, great. You've got great results, excellent, good. Please carry on in life.
sir, also, we'll get into the specifics of your sciences, but a lot of the science or the modules or the principles that you teach are very counterintuitive to the brain, to the normal brain. A lot of people who come to the workshop, they can't digest it at first, right? And a lot of people who don't come to the workshop, but hear it from the participants. They say this guy's crazy. This business coach is crazy. It's not practical at all. A lot of the things that you say. So how do you tackle that, and what do you think about that?
So that is my skill set,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
because everything that I tell them, whenever I tell anybody, "Okay, this is what you're supposed to do," the first reaction is, "Can't be done, can't happen, this is all wrong, won't work for me, won't work for my organization, has never been done, I'll not be able to do it, blah, 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 blah." But then turning that around and putting it back where they say, "This is the only way to do it." How can somebody not do it this way? There is no other way to do business except this way. So when they do it first time, then they do it the second time, then they do it the third time, then by the time they get used to it. And then when I say something and I say, so this is one of my statements in the workshops. I said, "Okay, now don't jump, shut up and sit down, just chill, listen me, because you know this is coming and you will again jump, but chill for a while, understand the science." So then being able to shift, transform here, see what are they doing? They are working 7 days a week, 6 days a week, glued to their phone and their emails and their WhatsApps, and still their businesses are growing at 20-30% per annum. And if they're growing 20-30% per annum, if they are growing 20-30% per annum, they're very happy.
Correct.
And I tell them, if your business is growing 20-30% per annum, your business is a very shitty growth rate. I mean, it's a disaster. Your business is in the ICU. And they're looking at me like, they said, "Excuse me, when we grew 30% last year, we gave a party. We celebrated, we gave bonuses. And you're saying this is shitty?" I said, "Yes, you should be doubling in profits, at least till you are about 700-800 crores. Above 800 crores, it gets difficult for me also to double. Doubling becomes a challenge. Yes, I grow it by about 50-60%, but doubling becomes a challenge."
Correct. If the volume grows, then the rate of return would naturally be tough to grow as well.
Somehow I have not been able to get doubling your profit at over 700-800 crores. Over 700-800 crores, we grow the business by about 50-60% per annum. But for those people, 50-60% growth is like, wow, because they've never seen more than 20 odd percent growth. Okay, now, so I tell them, I said, "What are the results you're wanting and what are the results I'm promising?" I'm promising 1 day a week. I'm promising profits will double. Now, if you want such counterintuitive results, the way to do the way, so if you're going to do what you're going to do today, you'll get the same results. So to get different, you want different results. So if you want different results, you'll have to change the way you do work. The way you do your business has to completely alter for the results to alter. Otherwise, how will the results alter? So it has to be counterintuitive, has to be different from whatever you're doing today.
Wow.
So that so like I said, I make them buy it. At the end of the day, I sell it to them.
Wow. So what are some principles? Like, of course, we can't go into details, but what are some few principles? I want the people who are listening to this and curious entrepreneurs to hear from you. What are some core principles that you would say, like, do this, do this, do this, and which would make people jump right now, but you make everybody execute?
So I have something called the 5 building blocks of business. So the first building block of business is that you have to reach office at 8 a.m. in the morning, no matter what. There
Indians
are,
struggle with that.
sorry?
Indians really struggle with that.
Yeah, Indians don't struggle with that. It is a myth.
Yeah.
Indians don't struggle with that. The majority of the Indian population wakes up and reaches work at 6 a.m. because the majority of the Indian population lives in villages and rural areas. In rural areas, Indians start work at 6.
That's so true.
European, US, everywhere across the globe, they start work at 7 or 8 p.m., 8 a.m. So 8 a.m. is the time to start work. That's the best time. Between 8 to 10 a.m. in the morning is the best time to work. Unfortunately, we reach office after that. Second, get yourself a secretary or an executive assistant. That's the most critical part. If you don't have a secretary or an executive assistant, you are the secretary, and you being a business owner, you think you're a business owner, but actually you're doing the job of coordination and follow up all day long, which is a 25,000 rupee job, which can be done by a secretary or an executive assistant. And you, being a business owner, you want to grow, but every day you're doing follow-ups coordination. It can be done by anybody else. Third, we tell people that you need to at least one day a week stay out of office and
Stay
work.
out of office. That's the funny part. Okay. Sir, I want to hear about this. Yes.
So you need to stay out of office. If you want your business to grow, get out of office. If you want your business to stagnate, go to office. So like you said, everything that I say is counterintuitive. But when you go to office, look at it, think about it. When you go to office, what do you do? All day long, morning to evening, you're only handling firefighting emergencies, dealing with every day. So in our business, in our business workshops, some people may not like it, but in our business workshops we call it jhadu pocha. So we have a term, we say you go to office and you do JP, which is jhadu pocha, which is all you're doing is cleaning, sweeping, dusting. Uh, i mean, what do you do in office? What is creative? Look at the last 1 week that you went to office. What did you create? What did you do? How much of your time is really going to grow your profits? In a year, annually, business owners spend less than 5-10% of their time to grow profits. If you're investing 5-10% of your time to grow your profits, guess what? How much will your profits grow by? 5 to 10%. And you're the only person in your whole organization who's accountable for growing profits. You're the only one who's actually focusing on profits. Unfortunately, you're not focusing on profits. So one day a week, stay out of office, switch off your phone, switch off your WhatsApp, switch off your email. Nothing will go wrong. The world will not crash. Your business will not stop. There have been times when you've gone, God forbid, there have been times when you've had to go to the hospital. There have been times when you've taken a vacation. There have been times when you've gone for a marriage. There have been times when there are so many times. At that time, you stop everything and you go and do something which is personal. So once a week, if you do this, it will put rockets in your business. So these are some of the things that we tell business owners which are critical. And second, what I really tell business owners, if you really want to grow your business, can you, like I asked them, so this is what I asked them. I said, can you give me 2 days a week? So they all say yes. I say, great. 2 days a week, just focus and do sales. Just focus and do sales 2 days a week. No ops, no operations. Focus and do sales. You go out and sell. You pick up the phone and make those calls. You go out and sell. If a business owner sells for 2 days a week, that's all that he needs. Just this one single thing. And if he does it diligently and not sell to existing clients, sell to new clients, only sell to new clients 2 days a week. If you don't have leads, generate leads or attend one. I mean, you can easily find ways to generate leads. Generating leads is the easiest thing in the world. Unfortunately, people think generating leads is the toughest thing in the world, or it is the easiest thing. People think it's tough. Why? Because they don't know how to do it. Nobody taught them. They don't understand the science of generation of leads. And that's where it goes back to your why do you need a business coach? If you knew how to generate leads, if you knew how to double your business, if you knew how to make sure that your whole team works, um, those people don't come to me. If they come to me, I send them back. I say, I mean, you don't know, need me.
Wow. So, sir, in summary, like all the cool points that you said. So, number one is like, hiring an executive assistant, hiring an EA, hiring a secretary. Another thing is one day out of office. You got to just be out of office if you want to really grow your business. These are really cool things and very counterintuitive too. So, what you spoke about was focus on profits. I think a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs, even when I got into business, the focus was only on revenue. But you keeps talking about profit. I know a lot of business owners who don't even know what their profits are actually. So I want you to differentiate this for us. What is more important, and why do you say profits? And the second, I'll come to the second thing, but this thing first. Yeah.
The biggest killer of your profits is the reason you look at turnovers. Business owners consecutively look at revenue. And what I have found in the last 17 years and thousands of business owners, we've done workshops for more than 40,000 business owners. Uh, Business owners, largely 80% of them, just focus on turnovers. They know what their turnover revenue is. They don't know what the profit is. They think if this is the turnover, this is the profit. They think if their turnover is going up, their profits is the profits are going up. No, that's not the cases. I have seen so many business where the turnover is going up and the losses are going up, and the turnovers are going up and the profits are going up. Sorry, the turnover is going down and the profits are going up. Why? Because look at it. 80% of the products and services that you supply are of the lowest margin products. Ask yourself. 80% of the products or services that you sell will be of the lowest margin products. The margin of those products will be the least, and that is what you're selling the most. So the profit is not there. The profit is in just those few products where the margin is higher. Anyway, so if you want to grow your profit, you have to do just one thing. Can you imagine just one thing? You do this one thing in this 1 year. And now this is my tip to you. In the coming 1 year, if you do this one thing, very difficult for business owners to do. Very easy, but they don't do it. Very easy, very simple. Just stop looking at your revenue for 1 year. If you stop looking at your revenue, what will happen? Then you will look for, you need a figure, you need a number to see what is happening. You want to catch a number. If you stop looking at your turnover, then what is the next number you will look at? Profit.
Profit.
As soon as you start focusing on profit, so there is a science which says whatever you will focus on will expand in life. So you focus on turnovers. Unfortunately, that is also not expanding for some reason. But if you focus on profits start expanding. Why? Because every month then you're looking at, why are my profits not there? So two things you need to look at. One is profits in the books. Second is cash profits. Because very often you have profits. So you ask your accountant, how much did we earn in the last 6 months? He says, we earned, let's say, 10 crores or $10 million. You say, great. How much can I withdraw? He says, you can't withdraw anything. He says, why? Because there's no money. He said, we earned 10 crores. He says, yeah, you earned it, but where is the money? I don't know. Neither do you know, neither the accounts know.
Real story.
You know, he'll say, you'll also say it's stuck in inventory, working capital, with the creditors, with the debtors, with this, with that, the world around you. So you don't have any cash profits. So what is the profit you earn and what is the cash profit you earn? Just look at these two numbers. In the next 1 year, 40 to 50% profits will grow up.
Wow. So this is the first part, profits. Number one, driving KRA, key result area for the business owner. That's profit. No questions. And I think that's a big mind shift a lot of business owners need.
Yeah. So very, very, very well put. So like what we say in our workshops, there is only one parameter. So every business owner, I ask them, I said, what is your, so everybody has a KRA in the business. So
Correct.
the account supposed to do this. The delivery guy is supposed to do this. The sales is supposed to do this. HR is supposed to do this. Finance is supposed to do this. What is the KRA of the business owner? So the KRA of the business owner is growth in profits, not profits, growth in profits. So the only thing you need to measure, if you can measure this, your business will be on steroids. It will shoot through the roof. Monthly growth in profits. Just focus on the monthly growth in profits. How much more money did I earn from last month? Last month I earned 100. This month, how much more or less did it go from last month? That's all. Period. Don't look at 6 months figures. Don't look at 1 year figures. Just look at last month, this month, last month, this month. Because every month, if you can focus on this, automatically you would want to do something about it. 30 days a month, a business owner works on what? Towards what? For what result? What is the result you want in your business? What is the result that a business owner wants? He wants to grow the business. In 30 days, how much time do you spend to grow your business? Nothing.
Wow. And sir, a lot of people might look at it negatively. Oh my God, he's just talking about profits, growth and profits. But only when a business has profits, an organization has profits, can it then decide to redistribute it amongst its employees, or put up a new factory, generate more employment, or the business owner takes some, feel satisfied, and be happy only profits can generate happiness for everybody. Losses will never do that.
Oh yes, oh yes. The only way is when you. So this is a myth. People think money is bad. So we have these workshops called manifestation in the law of attraction. So which is one of my most powerful and my favorite subject in the world. One of my favorite, even more favorite than business coaching. My number one subject. I live my life out of manifestation. Everything I've created is out of manifestation. Anyway, I'll not talk about manifestation. So what was I saying? So
Money is bad. That's a myth.
money is a bad. Money is bad. That's a myth. People think it has been handed down to us that money is not very good.
Hmm.
Money corrupts people is what is thought of, is what people might think, that money is not good, money corrupts. Or if you have money, then your life will go. I mean, you can't have money and time at the same time. That's a myth. You can have money and you can live your life. You can have time. You can have money and you can have peace of mind. You can have both of it. 100% you can have both of it. One. Second, money is not good. Money is not bad. Money is neutral. What people do with money makes gives it the color. So you can choose to be a terrorist or a drug peddler with the money or make money with that. Or you can be Mother Teresa with money, because
Wow.
charity also requires resources,
Wow.
right? Whatever she did, she got in charity, got in the money, not through a business, but some other way, and then did it some other way. I mean, then she distributed it, she distributed that wealth all across the world. So, with for good, and that also happened due to money. Without money, it doesn't happen. So, money is neutral. Money is not good, money is not bad. Money is, so what I like to say is money is yummy. So it's the best thing that can happen to you.
Money is yummy. So I would like to say something here. I think growing up, even I had picked up a lot of these, unrealized beliefs that money is evil. We're always taught that, money is the bad people have the money. And as I grew up, I really started to look at this belief system within me, which was holding me from, going out, selling, doing all these things. And then I also heard the speaker from South India, one of my favorite speakers called Mahatriya. And he says, if you look at this, the most spiritual places or the most religious places in the world are also the most abundant. Look at the Vatican, look at Makkah, look at Tirupati Balaji, where thousands of followers go. They are also so affluent and abundant. So money
Brilliant.
and spirituality can 100% coexist.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
you know,
Oh
I
yes.
was like,
100%.
yeah, I was like, that's so true.
Yeah.
This is a myth. And he said the problem is not that bad people have money. The problem is that the good people don't see it as a responsibility to earn more money, because when good people have money, then they will do good things with it. So good people, in fact, should go and pursue to earn more money out there.
So let me give you a slight context on this. Do you
Yeah.
want to know which are the biggest social workers in the world?
Bill Gates.
The biggest social workers in the world, globally, the biggest social workers in the world are entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
small entrepreneurs. So let me explain this. Every small entrepreneur gives employment to 10, 20, 100, 500, 5,000 people. It is because of him. It is because of his vision. It is because of his idea. It is because of his business that 500 families or 50 families have money to eat food. They have money to send their children to school. They have money to put clothes on their children. So their food comes from this entrepreneur. He is the person who makes 50 families work, 500 families work. What better form of social work can there be, where you are feeding 500 people every month for 20 years, 50 years, 100 years? That's social work at the best,
Wow.
at the best. And the people who get that money and take it home, they feel rewarded, not that they're taking.
Now they're begging. Yeah.
So social work, the best form of social work is entrepreneurship, and that's what I would like to believe.
Wow. That's powerful, sir. Amazing, sir. I'm glad we spoke about money, because this is also such a big thing for entrepreneurs to listen to. Coming back to the sciences. So one, we spoke about doubling your profits. That's also a promise of your course. The second thing is 1 day a week operations, doing operations 1 day a week. That sounds kind of unbelievable, because to be honest, most people are out there working Monday to Friday who are in employment, but the business owner works from Monday to Sunday with no time frame, anytime, every time. How can they handle the operations of their business 1 day a week?
Okay. So, first and foremost, every business that grows big, once it grows big, the only way for a business, so people think, so first, it's not 1 day a week. We slightly lie on it. It's not 1 day a week. It's actually 1.5 days a week. It takes 1.5 days. Actually realistic, but 1 day a week looks better. You know, it's better. So, because it becomes very long, 1.5 day a week. So we just say one day a week. Business owners, so for them, going from 7 days a week, even if they come down to 3 days a week, it's one of the best things that can happen to them. Anyway, so that part about now. If you look at every single business in the world, the only way for a business to grow. So people, so let me ask you, have everybody, all of you have seen, or everybody who would be seeing this, you've been with big, large business owners, right? The
Yes.
big business owners, have you seen them calling up their, or the staff, there's a line outside with the staff, sir, please sign this check. Sir, the material didn't come in. Sir, this client is calling. Sir, the material was not delivered. Sir, this drawing did not go through. Sir, that hotel, no, that hotel, the staff didn't come today. Sir, what do I do with that? Sir, the soap was not in the room. Sir, the staff is saying, the stove is not, the client is complaining. Have you ever seen a hotel? And have you ever seen any business owner who's big getting into operations?
No.
What are they doing? How much time do they invest in operations? They barely invest any time in operations. So the only way to grow a business is when you are out of operations. Now you think, or people think, that they are big, so they are out of operations. That's unfortunately wrong. They got out of operations, therefore they became big.
That's why they could grow, because they got time from the day-to-day activities.
Yes. So the only way to grow, so I tell everybody says, when I talk to them for the first time, they say, I want sales, I want marketing, I want strategy. I said, I'll give you all the sales, I'll give you all the marketing, and I'll give you all the strategy. You'll not be able to do anything out of it. Zero. You will not be able to implement anything out of it. And we made this mistake. When we started Business Coaching India, we made the maximum amount of businesses anywhere in the world that were possible. For 6 long years, from 2004 to 2010, all that we did. So we didn't learn this in books. So let me share with you. So when I started Business Coaching India, I read a lot of books and we saw a lot of videos. Why? Because I wanted to be a business coach. So if you want to be a business coach, you should know everything about business. So I learned it all. Yes, and I learned it all and I went to implement it. And I got people, I networked and I got people. And I said, okay, fine, hire me as a business coach. I'm a good guy. So everybody, of course, nobody wanted to hire me. That's a separate story. But those 1, 2, 3 who I could sell myself to, they said, okay, fine, let's try it out. And they hired me. Whatever I read, when I implemented that, none of it worked. It just doesn't work. What's written in the books and the videos and the audios, it doesn't work like that, because reality is different, and what is in the books is not necessarily doesn't fit in here. Some of it does, but a lot of it doesn't. So for 6 long years, all we did was make mistakes. All we did was make mistakes. For 6 long years, I was just a utter miserable, total failure. Every day I used to come back home. Every day I used to come back home. Again a failure. Again a failure. Again, whatever I tried today did not work. Then again, go back to the drawing board, rework it, see how it works, rework it, see how it works. 6 years of reworking without earning any money, because I was not earning any money.
Oh,
For
you
six
weren't even
years,
earning any money.
barely. I used to charge what, 10,000 bucks a month. I used to charge 10,000 rupees. My first client was 10,000 rupees a month. And I used to go to his office and I used to coach him in his office for 3 hours, 4 times a week, 4 times a month. Because there was no 1 hour, I mean, for 4 hours, 3 hours, I used to sit down, coach him, coach his people, work with his people, work with him, get into the organization, sit down, get your hands dirty, understand the psyche of people, understand what are the challenges that they face, understand how they, how to handle it. And after all this understanding, implement something. And after implementing something, realize that it doesn't work. That's what my life was for 6 long years.
Wow.
And after every 2, 3 months, business owners used to throw me out because they used to say that, listen, what I'm doing doesn't work. What you're doing also doesn't work. So what am I paying you 10, 20,000 bucks for?
Wow.
So they used to just throw me out after some time. There was just one, everybody has those 1 or 2 clients. So there was 1 or 2 clients who used to carry on for 6, 7 months. More out of the fact that we used to sit down and have a good time chatting. No results. No results. Zero results. Zero results. No results. 6 years, no payment, no results, only struggle. Every day is to come back and struggle. My wife used to tell me, what are you doing? I mean, is this because there was nothing called business coaching? It was not an industry. So there was nothing, nobody's heard of business coaching. So she used to say, what are you doing? I mean, I don't even understand what you do. And one, you're not doing something that I understand. There is no industry like this. There is no business like this. Second, you're not even earning money, right? Our budget was like this much. I used to live just this much budget, like shoestring budget. Like I had no money in life, just no money. Only the money that I had saved
Same.
up
Yeah.
and the interest component that used to come out of that drove that interest used to go to my house, and my house used to run on that. So for 6 years, I was not, and if it was not my passion, believe me, I would have left it a long time ago. Because before business coaching, I was running a huge, very, very successful business, 60, 70 crores of revenue. I mean, that was like rocking, solid,
Especially
brilliant.
back in the day, like 60, 70 crore revenue in 2004, right?
Hmm.
Wow.
2003, yeah.
2003.
So that business was rocking, and this business was rocking like rock. It was all rocky. So for 6 years, all we did was fail. And then finally, after understanding what business really means, it is only after making the mistakes that you learn from it. But if you have somebody who's made the mistakes and who has learned from it, perhaps it's a good idea to talk to him. But after that, we realized, because when we used to do business coaching, we used to go, everybody we used to talk to he used to say, I want to understand what sales is. I want to grow my sales. Every business owner, you ask them, I'm a business coach. What do you want from me? He just says, grow my business. Give me sales. I want sales. I want sales. There was no concept of autopilot. There was no concept of 1 day a week. And this was not our target also, by the way. We learned along the way. We learned. And 6 years is a very long learning, especially without money. So when we used to give them strategies for sales, marketing, those were workable. They would get results out of it. But the challenge is they could not implement any of it. Now, why could they not implement it? Because they just didn't have the time. So then we stopped sales and we said, listen, here, so listen, if you want to do sales, the first thing you have to do is to get out of operations. So when you're talking about 1 day a week, I have no, this didn't come because this was a business requirement.
Hmm.
Nobody wanted it.
Hmm.
Till today, when we go to talk to business owners, they don't understand 1 day a week. They understand double your profit. And they don't even understand double your profit. Most people can't understand, they can't digest 1 day a week, they can't digest double your profit. That's why the only people who come to us are people who've got our references, because they have somebody, they have not one person, but 5, 6 people who've told them that, listen, this guy I have done, and he will give you 1 day a week and double your profit. That's why they pick up the phone and call me. Otherwise, they'll say, um, are you mad? Am I stupid? I've been in this business For 30 years, I'm working like a dog for 7 days a week. My business grows at 10%. I mean, what are you saying? Are you saying I'm stupid? What are you telling me? You're coming here and sitting in front of me and telling me I'm stupid.
Your
That's what you're
claim is
telling.
personally offending me.
Yes. So anyway, so 1 day a week. So what we say is your business can't work. Your business can't grow till you put your business operations or till you get out of business operations. Till you get out of business operations, your business won't grow. And the day you get out of business operations, nobody can stop you from growing. Nobody in the world. So let me give you a slight taste of it. Let me give you a taste of it. If you, as a business owner, had 5 days a week free, if you, as a business owner, had 5 days a week free, if just if that is possible, and you were doing sales 5 days a week, 20 days a month, personally going out and selling to clients, what would happen?
Rocket.
The business would explode. The business would explode. So that's why running your business operations 1 day a week is critical. And so the question you asked is, so what was the initial question you asked?
That 1 day a week, is that possible? And what is
Yes.
the reason
So
behind it?
we do 1 day a week for every kind of business possible, and we've done it for every. You name the kind of business, and we've put them on autopilot. And we've done 1 day a week for every business possible. It is 110% possible. Like I said, it's not 1 day a week; it's 1.5 days. That's the true deliverable. But 1.5 days a week, I can put any business in the world. And all the people who've done our programs and who've done the implementation, their business today is at 1 day, 1.5 day. They don't, for 5 days a week, they don't get a phone call, they don't get emails, they don't get SMSs, they don't get WhatsApps. Nobody talks to them. The client doesn't talk to them. The vendor doesn't talk to them. The staff doesn't talk to them. In fact, when they go to office, the staff tells them, "Sir, please don't disturb us, because if you disturb us, we will not be able to complete our work, and I have to complete my work on time. So, sir, if you have something important, tell me. Otherwise, uh, sir, don't disturb us, sir." So this is the feedback that I get. So the business owners are very sad. They don't know what to do. If they go home, their wife says, "Please don't come here. You disrupt the schedule of the house. Go to office." In the office, they have nothing to do. So, but 1 day a week, 100% possible. No questions asked. Any kind of business, 100% possible.
And as we discussed previously, one of the few main things that people who are listening to this who could think about it is like, one, hire a secretary or EA. Think about it, because it's much lesser than your money value of time. A lot of the time goes in follow up and coordination. And then the second thing that you mentioned was 1 day out of the office, where you got to focus, work, and build strategies on growing your business rather than just going into office and doing the daily mundane tasks. These are two very important things. Third is focus on profit. Nice. Sir, you also talk about debt-free company, making your company debt-free. But there's a big illusion or whatever. There's a big thinking that you have to have debt. How can you run your business without debt? You take money. OPM is the way to grow business. Other people's money. You take money from the bank. You take money from people. How can you grow without debt? Debt-free company is an old philosophy, how people used to do business back in the day, but it's not possible in the modern world.
Yeah. So the first thing that we tell people is the problem that they have. Everybody wants to be debt free. So everybody wants to be debt free. That everybody wants, that I should not have debt, because unnecessarily you're paying a lot of interest and it is weighing on your head.
It's weighing on your head. Exactly.
But unfortunately, in India especially, we have a debt mindset. I say call this a debt mindset, which means that the only way to grow my business is through debt. Now there are two types of debts, and that is where the challenge lies. One is the debt that you take for capital expansion. So you take debt for taking new land, setting up a showroom, setting up a new office, blah 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 blah. Yes, you want to set up a new factory, you want to open new retail outlets, so you need some kind of debts, because that cannot be fund. That means your business may not have the profit or profitability to fund that. So I'm fine with that.
Okay.
The challenge is not in that kind of a debt. The challenge is people don't take that kind of a debt. So there are two, three things. The debt that people take are the debt that they take for working capital.
For inventory, for day-to-day working of the business.
For working capital, for funding the daily working of the business. Now,
Yes.
that is something that we have for every business that we have come across. Every business that we come across, we do this. We do this. We do number of courses, but we get those businesses to be debt free by the end of the program. Now, if you can be debt free, would you like to be debt free? Is the question I'm asking. So of most of the most of the debt is because of mismanagement of money, because of uh, the clients not paying up on time, because of excessive inventory or money stuck there, or because of something called CC limits and all of this, which people take unnecessarily. So we stop all CC limits, get them liquidated. And by the way, all of this happens. If this can happen, would you like it? Is my simple question. So we make people debt free, completely debt free, and we tell them you don't need working capital. You can generate the working capital has to be generated from the profits of the business. In the
Wow.
last 5 years, did you make profit? Yes or no? All businesses make some profits in the last 5 years. If you have made those profits, where are the profits? Those profits should be enough to fund the working capital requirement of your business. So we go through a long exercise. We make them calculate their working capital. We make them calculate what is the excess inventory that is stuck. Everybody has excessive inventory. The inventory that if you have a service industry, I'll come to that. In a service kind of an industry, the money is stuck with the client. The client is not paying up on time. So how can you set up a collection engine? We make engines out of everything. So we have an operations engine, we have a sales engine, we have a collection engine, we have a reference engine. We make engines. Why do we call it engine? We call it engines because engine is like the engine of a car. Just put in the key, start it, and then it runs. So collection engine, 80% of your payment comes in on time. If 80% of your payment comes in on time, all your debt in any case is sorted out.
Wow.
And on time, I mean on time. If your collection time is 30 days, it will come on 30 days. 31 days is late. So
Wow.
we make sure that all the money we so when we are working on finance, when we are working on cash flow, when we are working on all of this, we restructure the whole thing such that your company in 4, 5, 6, 7 months becomes a debt-free company. You don't need debt. If
And
you want to expand your business, capital expansion, please take debt. If you want to go out on a trip and enjoy yourself, you can take a loan and go out. I don't have a problem. If you want to buy gold and jewelry, take a loan and buy gold and jewelry. I don't have a problem. Don't take debt for working capital. It's not required.
wow. Sir, yeah, there's, of course, we can't get into everything that you said and doing that right now in the podcast, but some of the key main points that you laid out that will be beneficial for the listeners are: number one, debt for capital expansion is fine, but for working day to day working capital, if you take debt, that's always going to be a cycle and you can never repay that, right? Because you continue working. You should generate profits from your business and repay that kind of debt so that the business is self sufficient and not working capital is on debt. And a few things that you said was, number one, the money could be stuck on excess inventory, so focus on that. Excess inventory could be using your day-to-day working capital, and that's why there's debt. The second thing was that people are not paying you back. You should do, maybe you set up and focus on getting money back on time with from people. And the third thing is the CC limit, etc., where it just keeps going on and on.
So the challenge, Naren, here is they don't know how to do it.
Exactly.
They don't know how to get their collections on time. They don't know how to reduce their inventory by 30 to 50%. They don't know how to make sure that their budgets are met. They don't know how to cut their fixed costs by 30 to 50%. They don't know how to cut their variable costs by 30 to 50%. So we make sure that all of these results get produced. So if you get your collections on time, inventory down by 30, 50%, fixed costs down by 30 odd percent, variable costs All your vendors will give you so we talk about these things, but nobody believes it. So the vendor will come and himself say, please cut my costs. So get all your people working. So anyway, so all of this when combined together gives you enough money to repay your existing debt. And then you get savvy enough that I'm not going to take debt for working capital. Now, if I need to grow, because people, what is the myth? The myth is my business is a growing business. If I'm a growing business, I need more working capital. If I
Hmm.
need more working capital, I need to fund it by debt. But I say, no, you don't have to fund it by debt. If you get into those numbers, the figures, the finance, because there's no financial control in an organization. It is pure accounting and pure taxation compliances. Finance तो होता ही नहीं. Debt restructuring, cash flow management, how much money do you really need? What is your working capital requirement? What is stuck in overdue payments? What is stuck where? And how to take it all out and put it back so that you can repay all the debt. So people don't know how to do it. So when you're saying ye kar do kar do kar do kar do kar do, everybody who's going to be listening to this is going to say not possible, not possible, not possible, not possible, not possible. At least that's what people tell me.
Correct.
And then when I tell them how to do it, they say possible, 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 and they say we'll do it. Got it, sir? Understood. Now we'll do it. This is how it was supposed to be done. Oh, why didn't somebody tell us? So this is
Exactly.
how it is. It's supposed
At
to be
least
done.
they're getting a taste of it right now, and at least they're getting to learn and open their mind about these concepts, which is great. That's a great starting point, right, for most business owners. So I'm happy that you're sharing all these principles with us. Thank you, sir.
And the most important thing about autopilot, out of all of these, debt free is important, cost reduction is important, efficiencies will go up by 30 to 50%, all your projects will get completed on time, all your deliveries will be on time. Um, so if you can promise your customer on time delivery every time, that's one of the biggest things that you can promise your customer, because your deliveries are always late. You think your delivery is on time, measure it. If every business owner were to measure their on time delivery performance, they would know how bad it is. If every business owner were to measure the quality that is there or lack of quality that is there in his business, we don't measure it. We have a perception around it. The only good part is that every business owner works like this. So if everybody's working like this, it is you amongst everybody else. So anyway, we'll not go there for a minute. The point I was making was the biggest challenge business owners face is that business owners can't get their people to do the work.
Hmm.
This is the number one challenge they face in operations. And that's what needs to be resolved. So, so anyway, so I mean, if you get your, so what we do, essentially, I'll tell you what we do. Essentially, we don't set up systems. Setting up systems is part of it. Basically what our core competence is to get all your people to do all the work on time with quality every time, no matter what, with your team existing, they all start performing, because a business owner essentially wastes all his time and is struggling because his people are not doing the work. Every day he goes there, and wherever he looks into it, whatever he puts his finger on, there is a huge hole there. I mean, he finds what is happening in my organization. Is this how work is done? This is not how work is done. Ah, yeah, 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 yeah. He's just screaming, shouting, jumping, every day from morning to night, and doing screaming, shouting, jumping, or he's motivating them, or he's increasing their salaries, or he's incentivizing them. But he's doing this for 40 years, and it is still not working, which means that it doesn't work. If it was to work, if it could work, if it had any chance of working, by now you would have got some results, because you've tried everything. It doesn't work. There is a different science altogether to get all your people to work. So when you're saying 1 day a week, it happens only when the people start doing the work. The challenge that business owners face is this: they hire the people at very good. So My team, so business owner, if I'm a business owner, I'm thinking to myself, I hired a good team. I'm paying them top dollar. I'm trained them. They know how to do the work. They've been with me for 20 years and still they're not being able to do the work. For every small little thing, I have to get into it. And wherever I don't get into it, the work does not happen. Where if I don't, so do you know why people find it so difficult to leave office and don't go to? So if I say leave, do out of office, right? So they say no, we can't do out of office. So why can't you do out of
Team
office?
won't work. I have to be there to monitor their work. That's the
I have to be there because if I don't go to office, people stop working. I said, is this the way you're going to lead your life? That you're going to sit over them like with like a watchdog with two dandas and two sticks and say, okay, fine, work. Is this? I mean, are we in the what dark ages where is this a bullock cart? I mean, is this a horse cart that you have to work? I mean, in today's day, age, and time, there is a huge science, a huge shift, tools, techniques available such that your people will work without you ever being there. There are people
what are,
who,
what are some one or two, three tools just you would like to guide us on, like pinpoint and point the direction for people who just get really curious that this is how what they can look into. Of course, not all of it can be shared right now because these workshops that you do are long, but one, two, three tools that you would ask people to point to.
little, okay, so let me give you something that you can implement right now.
Correct.
Okay,
That would be awesome.
because rather than giving you, something, because see, I'm not a consultant.
Yeah.
I've never done consultancy. I'm a business owner. The only thing that I understand is the language of business. And the language of business is, did I listen to this guy and did I get some results? Everything else is hocus pocus. So the challenge that business owners have in their whole ecosystem is their entire ecosystem is largely verbal.
Hmm.
Giving work and taking work is a verbal exercise
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
between the team members,
Hmm.
between the owner and the team.
Hmm.
So as soon as you convert, so verbal does not work.
Hmm.
No matter what you do, verbal will not work.
That's why the biggest companies need emails. Yeah.
So wherever you will find large companies, they will say that this is an email. Send me an email. It has to be documented. There is supposed to be a report. I'll give you a report. I'll give it in written. Blah blah blah. And everything is in numbers. Everything is in numbers, right? You can't run a big company and say, acha, theek hai, we'll handle it, we'll do it. Okay, fine. What is the work? Come here. Okay, distribute the work like this verbally. Everything has to be written. Now, a business owner can't perhaps do it after listening to me like here, right now. One thing he can do and implement now is that when you reach office at 8 o'clock in the morning, what you should do is every day, the work that you're giving out, you should give it out on a piece of paper and document it with yourself. So you can use simple tools like Google Keep or OneNote if you are tech savvy. Otherwise, you can just write it down. You don't need anything else. Pure register, write down Sharmaji, the name of the employee, and then write down the what is the task. So every day in the morning, give him the task for the day. So these are all the things you have to do for today
In written. Yeah.
in written, right? In the morning, early morning, as soon as that guy comes in. Next day morning, when he comes in, ask him, what happened to the work that I gave you yesterday? And then give him the work for today. Just do this one exercise. You'll get free by afternoon. 8 o'clock in the morning, get to office, write down what work you have to give to everybody. When they come in at 9:30, 10, 11, whatever time, give them all the work. If you're a retailer, get to office 1 hour before the shop opens. Because for retailers, they have to stay late. And as soon as the shop opens, give it to them. Yeah. And one more very huge thing will happen. If you have a problem of employees not coming in on time, this will solve it. You try different methods. You are trying what method? You tell him, come on time, come on time, come on time. You're senior, you should come on time. You're junior, you have to come in on time. Blah, 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 blah. And they have invested 20 years of their life trying to get people on time. People don't come in on time. They put GPS, sorry, attendance system, this system, that system. People still don't come in on time. Very simple. You want them to come in on time? Basic laws of nature. You come in on time. You come in on time, they will come in on time. The reason they don't come in on time is because you don't come in on time. Ha ha ha. So come in on time, park your car where everybody can see it. Everybody should know that you reach at 8 o'clock. 1 week, and you'll find everybody on time. If you can't reach at 8 o'clock for some reason, although you should, get in at 8:30. But when they come in, give them the work and take the work back. Written.
Wow, wow, wow. So this has been awesome, insightful. So many things to take, so many things to open the brain up. Lastly, I would like to transition into some more larger sort of questions on business, on life, and your thought processes. So one thing is, all this business, all this hard work, what do you think about retirement? Is there time to just sometimes sit and chill after you've earned so much? You've done business coaching and you've taken business coaching and you've brought your business to a certain level. What are your views on retirement?
So now you're talking to me about a tricky subject.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I'll remove my personal life out of this right now. So then it will be okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm also thinking, I'm also dabbling with this right now.
Yeah.
First,
Yeah.
okay. Normal business owners, by basic nature, intrinsic nature, can't retire.
Yeah.
Right? They
I've seen
can't.
my grandfather, other grandfathers, because I'm from the Marwadi community.
Hmm.
Everybody's typically a business owner and they can't retire. They keep working until they die.
Yeah. So, and I would also suggest that, especially the older generation, you should never ask them to retire. So here is my view on this. Yes. Never ask the older generation to retire. Tell them to work and tell them to keep working. If they retire, their lifespan decreases by 5-10 years. Unless they pick up another cause to keep them busy and working, like a social cause or a political cause or some other cause. And if they have that, then it is good. Something that they're passionate about.
Yeah, it drives them.
Yeah, it needs to drive them. And if they don't have that, make sure that they are involved in a little part of in your business, and they keep coming to office every day for 2 hours, 1 hour, 3 hours. That is very important and very imperative. So now that's just for the older generation. Now let's talk about you, normal business owners. Why do you need retirement?
A lot of people feel like they need retirement because they want to chill and they work so hard. So now they want to enjoy.
Okay. So first, there is no work hard. So I'm saying, assuming you can put a business on some kind of an autopilot, you're never working hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then what you should be doing is you should be having a 5-day week or a 4-day week. And every week, take 3 days, 2 days or 3 days off. Every week you can take 2 days or 3 days off. As part of our curriculum, what we tell every business owner to do is, in any case, we tell them to do is every 3 months, go on a 15-day vacation. And if you don't go on a 15-day vacation every 3 months, it is not worth it, working. Or every 15 days, switch off and do what you think is your idea of fun. It may not be.
Quarterly.
Sorry?
Quarterly.
Quarterly. So this is what we suggest. And 15-day vacation meaning no phones, not allowed. As in, you can't take your official number, and we get them to a level where they can do it. Now, the audience that I'm talking to right now, they may not be able to do it, which I understand. So you cannot do 15-day vacation, but every 2 months or every 3 months, please book 4 days vacation. Let me tell you this. Any business owner, no matter how hard he is working, no matter what the work pressure is, can 100% take 4 days off and 5 days off every 3 months. with their family, with their friends, with themselves, with their parents. You can definitely do it. There are students of mine who take 10 vacations a year. 10 vacations a year. Of course, they are not all 15 days vacations, but they are shorter vacations of 4, 4, 5 days. Every month they take a vacation for 4 days, 5 days. And after every 3 months, they take a vacation for 15 days. Now, if you are working and enjoying life, why do you need to retire? And if you need to retire after that for some other purpose, please retire. But in my experience, most business owners who even say that yes, we are going to retire, they retire and then they come back,
Yes, I've noticed a lot of that too.
because they retire and they're sitting idle for 1 year, and after 1 year they don't know what to do with themselves, so they go back. And I know this because some students of mine, they say, sir, all I want is autopilot, all I want is retirement, I've made lots of money, I don't want anything else. So they kind of retired for a year, kind of retired for a year. And they used to call me up from, they used to be all across the world and all across India. They used to call me up from funny places which I've never heard of. And they used to say, I'm sitting under the dark, you know dark skies with, amazing stars, and I just thought of you and I just wanted to thank you because this is all because of you, blah blah blah. I'm sitting in an igloo somewhere, I'm sitting, on a beach somewhere. I say, okay, fine, great,
Yeah.
god, send me the photographs and chill out. So and I do it myself. So every 2 3 months I go on a 15-day vacation. Right
Wow.
now, for the last 1 year, I've not been going because, but otherwise, every 2 3 months,
Wow.
I go out on a 15 day vacation, 13 to 15-day vacation. And I suggest you try it too. And even if you can't take 13 days, take 4 days off, take 3 days off, take 2 days off, but take it off. Because when you come back, you'll be doing better business, and you need to recharge, otherwise your battery goes down if
Yeah,
you're
contain juices.
yes,
Yeah.
if you're constantly stressed, this doesn't work. If this stops working, your business stops. So go take a vacation. So after all of this, if you still want to retire, sure, do it. Just set up a passive income. Just make sure there is enough money for yourself and for your next generation. Yeah. But don't tell the next generation that there is passive income, because if you tell them, you destroy them.
Hmm.
Never tell the next generation there's passive income. Never, ever tell them that there is passive income in the family. Never do that. Because if your son knows, or your daughter knows, that she will get whatever amount of money, let's say 5 lakhs a month, or 10 lakhs a month, or 20 lakhs a month for the rest of their lives, they'll find it very difficult at the age of 21 when they realize this. They will find it very difficult for them to struggle and work. Uh, uh, Businesses start and grow because you don't have the money. Only those people make big businesses who do not have the money. If you have the money, likely chances that you'll never make a big business.
Because
Very
you're
difficult,
comfortable. Yeah.
because you're very comfortable. Unless you're a second generation. Unless you're a second generation. And in a second generation, you know that yes, you've seen this entire thing, blah, 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 blah.
You
And
know
you
what the
want to,
struggle is. You grew up with the struggle in the childhood. Yeah, exactly.
yeah. So
Sir,
retirement, that's, yeah.
about retirement, the main message, the main essence I got from you is um, retire from the business, etc., etc. It's a situational thing. But what you are really pointing at, I think, is having a vision for a tomorrow. Because if that vision goes, you stop living, you get bored if you don't know what to do. So whether it's in a social cause, whether it's political, but having something for tomorrow so that it makes you wake up and go. So it can be a current business, it can be another project, but that is important. So you shouldn't retire from a vision. Maybe you can retire from your current business even after all that you said.
Oh yes, oh yes. So it could be spiritual, it could be political, it could be social, it could be, but you need to have something to look forward to, a
I
vision.
love that, sir.
Yeah. So
100.
have something like that.
Wow. So a couple final questions to wrap up. This has been too amazing. But I just can't get enough of your insights and your knowledge. Um, I want to talk to you about Indian businesses and certain communities. So in India, we see there's like the Marwadi community, there's the Gujarati community, there's Jains and Parsis, and certain communities are just really good at business. And you've coached more than 18,000 entrepreneurs and 40,000 workshops. And more than that, you are day to day business owners are your forte. You just speak to business owners, you live them, you breathe them. Why are certain communities more successful? What are some traits that you notice within them that make them successful in business that other people can learn? Okay, these are the traits and these help in better businesses and entrepreneurship.
So I haven't thought of this. Frankly speaking, I've never thought of this.
Yeah.
But it is because they grow up with the conversation of business.
Mm.
They grow up. So let me tell you this in a different context. The subconscious of the mind, the programming of the mind of a child is done by the age of 7 and then completed by the age of 14. By the age of 7 and 14, he sees, understands only one thing, that business is to be done and you have to make more money in life and you have to be successful in business because that's all his father is doing. That's his grandfather is doing. That's what his uncle is doing. So that's what everybody in the house is doing. So his whole focus becomes business and getting successful in business. So subconsciously, one that gets programmed. Yes. In certain communities, that's not happening. One is that. Second, when you're asking what makes a person, so what you're essentially asking is how does the particular tribe differentiate itself on things that they
Yeah, I've always wondered, like, like for example, internationally, Jews are really good at business. In India, we have these communities, Gujaratis, Marwadis, Jains, Parsis, they're the ones who, build a lot of the businesses and responsible for majority of businesses in the country.
that's
Um,
because that's I would largely put it here like this on subconscious. Uh,
Community that they grew up in, the conversation they heard growing up, and that just
all the
makes.
time. And then when they're hearing that conversation after that, all throughout, even after 14 years, that's all that they're hearing. So they're picking up all of this and they're imbibing all of this. So their entire life purpose is this versus somebody else. Like, for example, family, in my family, everybody used to be a topper because the only thing worth doing was studying. Everybody used to study. I was the only black sheep because the conversation was study, 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 grow up, get a good job. So if you so that's what you imbibe from the whole family.
Yeah.
And then you are throughout your entire journey, you're seeing, struggle, fight as in fight for going to the next level, a struggle for doing it, challenges and celebration, and it is all rooted around business. So you manage to pick it up, so you manage to imbibe it, and not only with your house but the house of your uncle, aunt, cousin, everybody.
Exactly.
The conversation there is only this: when you're sitting in the evening, everybody's talking about business.
Yeah. That's very interesting. Sir, I remember reading this article somewhere where, what the brain of the child receives, it's how really they start thinking and the belief starts being built, right? Business requires a risk element. And if it's so normalized for you as you're growing up that business is the way of life, you don't really see it as risky, or you see it something that you can do. But as someone who's not, they see it as super risky and it's like a big challenge for them, right? Private schools in America, for example, in normal schools in America and public schools, which are like, lesser fees, the more middle income children go, the way they teach math is maybe one apple. If you have one apple and you have one more apple, that's two apples. But maybe in a private school in America where the rich kids go, the examples in the school are math is taught in the same way, numbers, but the examples are if you have one business and you have another business, you have two businesses. So the apple is replaced by the business, and the child is thinking, yeah, business is a normal thing. You own it. And I think that is a similar thing that's playing out here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He is just taught, born, bred, and his father is also subconsciously training him for the business. The
Yeah.
grandfather is also training him for the business. It's like when you're born into a warrior class, then you are a warrior class. I mean, then you are only being trained for battle all your life.
Same.
Everything around it is okay, fine, take this wooden sword and let's do some sword fighting.
That was amazing. So the final question I have for you is, being through this journey, this long journey, and having had so much success and interacting with also so many people around you, so many business owners, what is one of the biggest life lessons you've learned and you would like to share with people listening? Is life about money? Is life about what? What is one life lesson you want to leave people with? Um,
So there are two aspects to it. One is the spiritual side, which I'll leave out. I'll not touch that today. But the other side that I would like to say is that whatever a person does in life, money cannot be the driving factor. Unfortunately, in this country, money is largely the driving factor. You will have to have a cause, a vision. You will have to have something bigger and greater than money driving you. Unfortunately, it's very difficult for a person to hone on into that and find that. So let me put it in a different manner. Let me put it in a different way so that you can at least implement this. ये तो वो बात हो गई जिसको मेरे which will be very difficult for me to really give you the whole science behind it. Now, whatever you are doing, whatever you are doing, you should be having fun around it. One. Second, whatever you are doing, make it into a game and play the game of what you're doing. It's like this: you play the game, you may win the game or you lose. Suppose you go out and play with your friends, whether it is golf or it's tennis or it's anything. When you play golf every day, or you play, let's say, tennis, or you play badminton, or whatever you play, when you go out and play, at that point in time, you and the game become one, and you're playing out of pure. I hope you're getting this. You and the game become one.
so
You're
true.
just playing, and you're playing. You become the game. So can you just play the business? Can you just play business like a game? Don't get significant about business. People get significant about business. The minute you say get significant about business, your business will kill you. You'll have a heart problem, you'll have a BP problem, you'll have a cholesterol problem, you'll have a diabetes problem. All of these problems are going to come because you're not playing this game. Play the game, play it full out. Set those kind of targets that you couldn't possibly imagine to achieve, and then go and play it. Even if you lose, big deal. How does it matter? How will it matter? It will not matter. But when you set a huge game and a huge target and you go out and fully play it, chances are, maximum chances are you will win, because you don't play the game, because you get significant about it, because you get into, oh shit, if this doesn't happen, then what? If this doesn't happen, big deal.
Get caught up. Yeah.
Big deal if this doesn't happen. Let's go and take a swing at it. Let's go and let's see how it works out. And how dare it not happen? How dare it not happen?
Yeah.
I will make it happen. I will create it. And go out, have fun while doing it, and have fun with your team while doing it. Have fun with your clients while doing it. So I was talking to my team yesterday, and they are talking. They talk to a lot of. I was talking to my team. They talk to clients. I said, listen. So I'm just giving you an example.
Mm.
Yesterday evening, I said, listen. If the client says no, and he says no, I don't want to take your workshops. Say, sir, okay, fine, sir, understood. Sir, but I want, sir, tell me something. How did you like my sales? Was the pitch good? Did you like it? So have a good time with the client. It doesn't have to be a serious conversation on the phone.
Yeah.
Can you celebrate life and business and the small joys and the small breakthroughs that you get in life. So if you can't do it, if you're not that kind of a person who does it openly in front of everybody, can you shut your cabin and say, wow, we did it? So the point is, can you have fun while doing business? Business is fun. If you remove the fun, I don't understand why you're doing it.
Mm. Mm.
Most of you would find that you will be better off if you sell your business, take all the money, put it in an FD, and live life on a hill. You will make more money than your business is giving you in any case. Because if you calculate the net worth of your business and if you sell the whole business, you'll make more money out of the land and this and that. So if you're going to do the business, might as well have fun while doing the business. So business is fun. Have fun. Play the game. You're going to put the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years of your life into it. And if you're not going to like it, what is the big idea of doing it? I mean, I don't understand why you're doing it then. Are
Exactly.
you doing it to earn money? You don't need it. You can sell your business today and you'll make more money out of it.
Mhm.
So while you're doing it, might as well have fun. And most importantly, can you allow your team to have fun? Can you allow your vendors to have fun working with you? Can you allow your clients to have fun working with you? Business is fun. Business is not serious. So this is one very important distinction, because if you start having fun, let me tell you what happens. Tell me, what is it that will happen if you start having fun in business? What will happen? You will like to do it. You want to do it. If you want to do it and you love doing it, you will start excelling at it. You'll get really good at it. If you get really good at it, you will earn more money out of it. So leave the money and you will earn more money. Are
Hmm.
you understanding? If you remove the money, you'll earn more money. Now, if you're very significant of business, you're very serious about business, you will resist it. You'll say, oh my God, I have to do this. Oh, I have to do this. Oh, I have to do this. Oh, I don't like to do this. So you will not perform at your best. It will be lower, 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 lower. And if it will not be the best, if your team is not performing the best, if you are not performing the best, if you're not doing your best, you will not earn so much of money. So you want money, you're running after money, you want to be significant about it, but money will run away from you. Let money be, have fun, everything will fall in place. Never mind the autopilot, never mind the double your profit. Let it be. It may not be important for you, but at least have fun.
I love that. The biggest lesson is bring playfulness into your life, just like Krishna, the great Indian yogi mystic, divine incarnation said, "Leela, bring playfulness into your life because life is not going to be worth living if there's no playfulness." And I think exactly that's what you're saying. Bring playfulness into your life, make it a game, business, whatever it is. Sir, thank you so much for your time, for your amazing insights. I know it's going to leave the people listening very intrigued. Some are very excited, some are very nervous to hear all this, some are very confused. It's perfectly fine the way you are, wherever you are, but at least you got insight into the life of Mr. Rahul Jain, his business coaching, his philosophies. And thank you for being the first podcast that you ever came on. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, Naren, for this. Maze aaye. It was really nice. It was fun, like what I like to do. And all the very best. It was a privilege being with you. All the very best for so many, 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 many more podcasts that you will have. Take
Thank
care.
you, sir. And honestly, the 8 month course that I did with you helped me a lot. It helped me free up more time so that I could do more of these podcasts that I really enjoy. I really owe a lot of gratitude to you for that.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.